I'm running away from this pain. I'm trying to find a new way where the sun's shining down on my face. I'm running away. You're in a toxic relationship. Time to be free.
I wanted to talk about some recent events because I have talked or touched on interracial relationships, and I recently heard about this. I know there's quite a few videos out. Everybody wanted to jump on this for their separate agendas. Personally, being someone who has interracially dated before in my life, I don't understand the caping for certain races of men. Black women image is non-existent in the media. Black women are not being elevated by any race of man. There is no special perks that black women are getting from any race of man. But what's disappointing me about interracial dating is when we talk about black male interracial dating, we talk about who they date. We talk about the quality of women that they date. We talk about the silly situations they get themselves into. We talk about some of the abuses and language that they will accept from another race of woman that they won't from their own, and how they go about treating the women and versus how they treat their own women, and just a list of negative things that we attach to black male interracial dating. But what's disappointing me is black women don't interracial date a lot. We're at the bottom. We really don't seek out other options, and that's changing. I think there's been an uptick, a small one. We're still the least likely to allow another race of man into our space, but it's changing with the hostile environment surrounding black women. So they are taking a look at their options. They don't want to be baby mothers. They want to be married. Black women are educated. Black women, are owning homes, businesses, trying to make the best out of their situation and taking advantage of any opportunity that they can find, and they feel like they don't have a mate within their race that is viable for a husband and to create a family unit, and they may look elsewhere. We all know colorism plays a part in this. The darker you are, more discrimination that you receive. So these women are not going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs and wait until someone picks them. They want to be married. They want to have children. They deserve it. All black women deserve that. And the way I see it, black women don't have to put up with any abuse, disrespect from anyone. Black women should be looking for quality in every race if they choose the IR date, and also look for quality, especially within our own. And I believe that is a shift that is causing all of this backlash towards black women, because you hear more negative things being said about black women, and I believe it's because black women are not suffering in silence anymore to anyone. But back to the McClure family. They have two beautiful little girls. I've seen them featured on TV. I've seen them everywhere. I have 1 million subscribers, a big YouTube platform. The girls are very pretty, as you can see. One is talking about the racist tweets that the father, Justin McClure, put out, and he said that at the time he was trying to be a comedian, which none of it was really funny, and that he moved on, but it wasn't a real apology. He showed more defensiveness than actually apologizing. I think it would be better if when something comes to light and you actually feel like, that's not you anymore, you own up to it and you say, at the time you thought it was okay, you thought you were making jokes, and that you don't feel like that anymore. You've grown from that, and it was stupid. It was disrespectful. It was disrespectful to my girls and my wife and my son, who are black, and that I would never do that again. And just dole out a real apology. People are tired of the half-ass and sometimes non-apologies that are given. And that's exactly what he did. And it's making the excuses that piss people off. I believe if people just own what they did and say what they need to say, then that would make things better. But people always are trying to half-ass and bullshit you and give you a bunch of excuses, which makes the situation worse. But I noticed the Swirl community and the pro-black community jumped on this and pushed their agendas. Nobody was down the middle, and everybody tried to pull out every excuse in the book. On the Swirl side, you had them making excuse after excuse after excuse for these disgusting, nasty tweets. When not too long ago, they were talking about how disgusting Stephon Clark was with his tweets, and they were talking about Blackistan, and some of them were talking about how they weren't sorry how he was shot. I am. Nobody deserves to die over something they said. I was not going to go out of my way to say I support this man. I didn't give my support because if he doesn't like black women, I'm going to honor his wishes, and I have nothing to say. And the Swirl community was up in arms, and they just posted that and used that as, the poster for black men and Blackistan, right? And I did watch a video from a well-known woman who swirls, and I just saw all of these excuses talking about black men said worse, black men do this, black men do that. I wonder why the Swirl Nation always are talking about black men. I do think that they have a right to talk about their experiences and relationships and to put out what they have been through. They have every right to do that. But it's always this demonization of black males, and some of those people in there are white men who have usernames as if they're black women, and I see them on different channels saying different stuff. But even the well-known woman who swirls was making excuses, saying it was a joke, it shouldn't be seen as anything else, that it's been years ago. I couldn't believe the excuses, and that's one thing I don't like within the Swirl community. I like Gabe and Babe. I have been watching them and subscribed to them for years. They are from Indianapolis. I currently live here. I love their videos, and I love them together. I do like Jamie and Nikki. I like their videos. I have been watching them for years. But I don't like the sugar coating for non-black men. I don't like the caping. I don't like the fact that it seems like black women will accept bullshit from non-black men while complaining about the bullshit from their own men. I think across the board, because this is something that I thought about when I was dating interracially. I wasn't like, I'm gonna go out and find this great guy and he's gonna treat me like a princess. When I opened up my options, I was actually a little bit nervous and concerned about it, because I knew how to deal with my own men, but now you're opening yourself up to other men, and with those possible good options, there's a lot of fuckboys out there that are non-black. So you're also opening the gate to any deviants, perverts, and assholes that are non-black. So to act like you are just going to step out of quote-unquote Blackistan and then go off and find a non-black man and knight in shining armor is not true. We need to keep it real, because a lot of people are romanticizing interracial relationships and also biracial children. A lot of issues can go along with having biracial children, not being accepted by either side, having conflicts within themselves, having to face certain societal situations, having to come to grip about the history between their parents, and there's so many things that can go on with that. And I don't believe within the swirling community that a lot of this stuff is talked about. A lot of this stuff is put on the table. So that's why I can find it a bit disingenuous, because they're presenting it like it's a Disney movie, and it's not. From my own experience, from finding men who were non-black, who were respectful and you know, open the door for you, have a date, and they have all these wines and all this other stuff that they do, there was still dudes out there, they just wanted to screw. The issue that I had was, you know, it was so much of a cultural difference, and I just didn't have any chemistry with the guys that I met. On the other side, you have these black males in the pro-black sector. Some of them have biracial wives, and they date light, bright, and anything close to white, and they have the nerve to be talking about black women who are dating non-black men. They're being disingenuous. They're very hypocritical. They're using this situation with these tweets to push their agenda, saying, see, this is what happens, black women, you'll end up with a racist man that says these things, and that man doesn't really love you. None of them are going to love you, so you need to sit on that couch, twiddle your thumbs until a black man chooses not to whoremonger, and then maybe stumbles upon you, possibly marries you. He's going to give you a couple of kids first, but possibly marry you, right? They again are digging their own grave, you know, calling women bed wenches, calling them whores, calling them the white man slut, and saying things like that. It's not going to give you any positive result. It's going to push the women further out of the door and out the community. And they say they don't care, but they wouldn't talk about this every time it came up. It's just like on the other side, the swirl side. If you didn't really care, you wouldn't keep talking about black males, and you would escape Blackistan. These men are coming down hard on the few black women who decided to step outside of their race and try and find someone to marry and have a family with. And the things that they are saying is disgusting, when these very same men were telling you to dismiss what Stephon Clark said about black women. They were caping hard for Stephon Clark, and they said it's not about what he said, it's about the fact that he was shot by police. And we need to forgive, and we need to forget, basically. But now we have McClure and his tweets, and they're going in. There is no forgiveness. This is what you bedwenches get, and etc., etc., which is validating what a lot of the people say in the Swirl community. But then what I don't like about the Swirl community is they are caping for these men, and they are showing signs that they are going to be like black men and accept the bottom of the barrel, and that's not good. You should never do that. If you're going to step out, my belief is if you're going to step out, you need to get the best of the best, period. As a black woman, don't struggle with a non-black man like you would struggle with a black man if you were going to go that route. It's showing me that a lot of these men, whether they're white, non-black, or black, they are all pushing this agenda, you know, pulling for women, black women. Each one of them are trying to say the other one is bad, so you need to come over here, when both of them are doing things that are bad, and you have to use your discernment to find a good one amongst either a non-black male or a black male, because both of them are going by the same handbook. And this shows you see that Stephon, a black man, said something nasty about black women, and you saw that Justin McClure, a white man, said something bad about black women, and the black men are caping for Stephon, and there's white men and others that are caping for Justin. So basically both of these men show disrespect towards black women, and if anybody was being right in the situation, they would demonize both of them equally. There would be no caping for these men. There would be no exceptions for these men. Both of these men are wrong in what they said, and both of their tweets were disrespectful to black women, period. So there's game being played here, and black women really need to be very careful in your selection, non-black or black. And these are two very beautiful girls, and when they grow up, they are going to be seen as black, period. I mean, that picture of their father, oh my God. He looks like a serial killer, a demon. I don't know who chose that picture. That picture is horrible, but those little girls, they're beautiful. And they're going to be looked as black. They're not going to be seen as biracial by society. They said that he tried to delete the post from 2010 and 11, but people got the screenshots here. And they said black people can't say ask, but they have no trouble saying Cadillac Escalade. Hashtag if I was black. Hashtag black people can't say ask. And he says here, Dominican women I know. He lists the names. Black women I know. Chandelier, Lasagna, Constellation, Walgreens. Hashtag when black people get paid. Like, none of this stuff is funny at all. Mark my words, one day a black woman will name a child allergies. My allergies been acting up lately, damn. Lately, I've been under the impression is this black girl I went out with, she loves being on top. Hashtag black girls, hashtag ghetto. The whole thing about black people naming their children, first of all, that's the children that they gave birth to. So if they want to name them whatever they want to name them, that's their right. They're going to have to take care of the children. They're going to have to raise the children. Oh well. A lot of people have an issue with what they call quote unquote black sounding names, and that's not going to get you through the door. You know, Paul, Amanda, Lily is going to get you through the door in your life. And you should think about that when living in this country. They can interview you and see that you're black and your name is Amy, and they still won't hire your black ass. But the whole black girl ghetto, it's disgusting. It's very disgusting. People were trying to say, oh, it's a joke, oh, it's nothing to it, it's old and all that, making every excuse. But no, that's disgusting. And this is the blog post that he wrote. He said, white guys are typically more cautious, laid back, and considerate of women. Sure. Seeing how white guys breed the most serial killers, sure. And recently a white guy was let out of prison in 3 months for dragging a girl behind a dumpster and raping her for 20 minutes of action, as his father said. Sure. White guys might see a hot black chick at a bar or something, but talk themselves out of approaching because Anderson Cooper comes on in 30 minutes. I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke, but that's bullshit. The reason why they don't come up and talk to black women is because they don't want to be rejected, because they know the majority of black women do not date out, so they know it's a possibility that they could get shut down, they could get laughed at, they could be talked about, they could, you know, the whole thing with small penises. A lot of things could come up if they put themselves out there. That's why. This has nothing to do with Anderson Cooper. It's just him stroking his ego as a white guy. They have to get home. Black and Spanish men, first of all, Spanish is not a race, that's a language, but yeah. Lift weights on the corner. Don't even know who Anderson Cooper is. Really? Okay. So now he's talking about the intelligence level of black men and Spanish speaking men, which there are white Spanish speaking men. But continuing, but they hope he will buy their new mixtape, right? Because the only thing black and Spanish speaking men could be are rappers and athletes, and you know, they can't be intelligent, they can't have a degree, they can't, you know, nothing beyond the stereotype. In New York City, I've seen black and Spanish men again sing to women on the street. Saw a black man with bags of groceries chasing a woman down many blocks. He had ice cream too. And one time I saw a Spanish guy jump the subway tracks to get to the other side in efforts to talk to a girl. When he got there, the girl wasn't interested. He came back across the tracks and waited for his train like nothing happened. Kid you not. So he saw all of this and he was intimidated because he would never just put himself out there to sing to a woman. He would never, you know, allow his ice cream to melt if he saw a woman that he wanted to talk to. And jumping the tracks, I don't know if I believe that story. He would never do that to speak to a woman. He would not go out of his comfort zone to speak to a woman because his ego is so fragile, because he doesn't want to be turned down. That's what I'm getting from this post. But he is literally thinking that he is insulting black and Spanish speaking men. Let's just say the woman is interested, and then that's a good story. You know, when we first met, he was so interested, he let his ice cream melt, he tracked me down, and we've been together ever since. Or this cute Spanish guy was singing to me, and nobody's ever done that, and I thought he was cute. You know, just he's assuming that this will all end in rejection, and his fragile ego just couldn't take that. But it goes on to say, black women have never been opposed to dating white men for the most part. It's a goddamn lie. What? There would not be so much propaganda. There would not be a girl that swirls if it wasn't needed to have black women look at other options. There has been so much caping for black women to look at other viable options for them. I mean, this post is delusional. So when they get an email from a cute, chalky boy, they are like, he's cute, I'll definitely go out with him. But on the street, that would never happen because the white guy would be too busy thinking about TED Talks or buying books off Amazon to notice the sister. Don't fucking use sister. I hate that because the way they say it is off-putting. That's something that needs to stay within the black community. They should not be allowed to say sister and brother. It's disingenuous and I hate it and it's disgusting. But first of all, that's a lie. That's a damn lie. Like I said, this goes to their fragility. They will not say anything because they are scared to death of being embarrassed in front of others, and their fragile white ego cannot handle that. And it just shows the strength of other men that they can handle that. He's making white men look like they're weak. They will tuck tail and run off, and they're scared and they're weak. This is not a good image to be painting white boys in. And to say that, a white man would disregard a beautiful black woman and he wouldn't pay, that's a goddamn lie. They will pull on the side of the street corners. They will chase you down the street. They're doing the same thing that they say other men are doing. Yes, they do. I know because I've personally had it happen to me. Get up from their seat, sit next to you, try and start small talk, all of that. Bullshit. White guys don't make moves in person. So Caucasian guys, if you want to date a black girl or curvy Spanish chick, get online, send some emails, talk about how you love plantains and fubu. Okay, whatever it takes. Okay, I'm done. This is disgusting. To me, he seems like a racist to me and a bigot, and he's prejudiced. So unfortunately, those girls have that type of father. It seems to me in this blog post that he felt like that he was showing white men in this he-man fashion, that they're reserved, they're considerate of women, trying to paint them as the best option, and then talking about black and Spanish speaking men, just showing that they are willing to step out of their comfort zone, man up, and go talk to a woman that they're interested in. And it actually, to me, reading this, showing that, these Caucasian men are weak, they're scared, they may not be a viable option because I want a man who can man up in some serious situations, and that he has to hide online and send some emails like a creep just to talk to a non-white woman. And the things that he was saying about black women in particular are disgusting to me and racist, and stereotypical. And people think just because someone has children or is married or dating that they can't be racist or discriminatory or a bigot or prejudice. It's beyond me. But I wanted to go back and say that, Swirl Nation, I'm like, there is no defending that. I am side-eyeing Swirl Nation because they were defending it hard. They were. I did see some people pushing back against it. They were making a fair assessment between Justin McClure and Stephon Clark. There was some, saying that this should not be accepted. This should be demonized. I give them credit. They're thinking about their well-being. They are very fair and balanced minded. There is no caping for him. There is no excuses that can be made or should be made for that. I am equally disgusted by these tweets by Stephon Clark. I don't want nothing black but an Xbox. Dark bitches bring dark days. I don't want nothing black but an Xbox. I don't want nothing black but an Xbox. And his girlfriend, this nigga said, I don't want no black baby. I'm already black. I don't need no black baby. She was just dying laughing, but I don't cape for anybody. There's no excuse for any of this. It's all anti-black woman propaganda from a white man and a black man, and both of them need to be demonized equally. I think it's disgusting that black men are taking up for Stephon Clark. Not all black men. Don't come on here with that bull. And then I think it's equally disgusting that Swirl Nation is taking up for Justin McClure. Disgusting anti-black woman tweets under the guise of being a fucking comedian. But yeah, I just wanted to go over that because I've been sitting up here watching videos on both sides, and both sides that are caping for each person sound absolutely disgusting, and they don't give a fuck about black women. They really don't. They just want you to pick a side and eat the bits of bullshit that a non-black man can give you, and on the other side they want you to sit down and eat the pieces of bullshit that a black man will give you, when you shouldn't be even at the fucking table. You should have never gone to the place where the table was set up in the first place. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about this situation. Let me know what you think about both Swirl Nation and the pro-black He-Man section of YouTube that's talking about this, and I will see you in the next one.